G'day my fellow media collectors and welcome to the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, your show about collecting all things superhero cinema. I'm your host Troy and today we are going to go have a look back on the superhero cinema of 2022 and we're going to see what is my best and my worst of 2022. What do you say we get into it? So for this episode, being my second last episode for the year, I thought I would take a look back on the year that has been and have a look and see what in superhero cinema was good and what left me disappointed. Thanks, Herc. Now, as you can imagine, these days there is so much superhero and comic book related media out there that gets released in a year, which I will have scroll up here next to me, that there is no humanly way possible for me to watch everything that you're going to see on this list, unless I give up my day job and do this full time, which, don't get me wrong, that actually doesn't sound too bad.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Anyway, look, I'm going to have the shortened list here of what I have managed to see over this year. Now, the list kind of goes from that to this. And as you can see, there's only 14 there. So what do you say we have a look and we'll count them down from the worst all the way up to the best for 2022. Starting with, that's right, and number 14 is Miss Marvel. Now, I know this one was made for young teenage girls primarily, but I'm going to say this with the proviso that even my young daughter, who is a young teenage girl, watched it with me and we both lost interest before the end. I don't think we saw the last two episodes and we have not had any interest whatsoever to go back and watch the rest. Sure, it kind of seemed promising to begin with, but look, it just wasn't for me. Like I said, maybe young girls might have liked it a lot, but for myself, there wasn't really anything there and nothing to inspire me about that character going forward. So yeah, that is why for me, this one's at the bottom of the list for this year. So coming in a close second last is Morbius. Now, I had promised when we saw the trailers, he looks like Morbius. God, his aesthetic looks fantastic. But this is Jared Leto, and Jared Leto does what Jared Leto does best, be Jared Leto. As far as the actual character goes, yeah, look, I'm not going to break it down in too much detail, but it's not anything really like the cartoon character, comic book character, sorry. And there's a few issues with this story. There's a few plot holes. Like, don't get me started on the synthetic blood thing, please. And I think the big thing for me out of that movie was the fact that he spent his whole story arc trying to stop from being evil and be a good guy. But then the end credit scene is the Vulture comes down and goes, hey, I reckon you could join our group, the Sinister Six. And he's like, I'm interested. What happened between the credits? Like, what? Did I miss something? And that's where this movie is baffling. It doesn't know what it wants to do or where it wants to go. So that's why, like I said, it was a bit of a flip of the coin, and that's why this comes in at second last. Now, coming in at number 12, and this is disappointing because I really had some hype about this movie, is Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, Taika Waititi, sure, he did a great job on Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok's one of the best Thor movies, actually one of the best Marvel movies. But they did a good balance of humor and serious. This one was just all funny, not enough serious story. Don't get me started on Russell Crowe as Zeus. That was atrocious. The whole, that was, I'm not going to do an impersonation, but it was downright terrible. And then let's not forget, you get Christian Bale in, an absolute A-grade actor, to be the villain of this movie, and then you literally barely use him and waste him. You don't even see him, he kills one god by accident, you don't even see him kill any other gods. I could go on for a little while about all the flaws, but they're just a few sticking points for me, shall you say. Yeah, so this one was very disappointing, but still a little enjoyable to watch, if you know what I mean. But still, yeah, it's not exactly up there with the top stuff this year, that's for sure. Okay, coming in at number 11 for me is Samaritan. Now, this was a Stallone movie, and look, if you know me, two franchises I love the most outside of superheroes is Rambo and Rocky. I've got all them on Blu-ray. Love those to death. So I'm a bit of a fan of Stallone. This one is very run-of-the-mill for a Stallone movie. Don't get me wrong, it was okay, but I did find there was a lot of plot holes and a little bit of confusion in the script without breaking it down too much. Like, for instance, some of the inconsistencies that make you kind of scratch your head, like there's a bomb that they have that when you throw it, boom, it detonates, and then it does like an EMP charge, which kills everything electrical. Well, there's a scene where a bomb gets thrown, he saves a kid, and it's supposed to knock out like a square block of electricals, but everyone's filming him on their phones and stuff. Well, what happened to that? Like, that is one of numerous examples in that movie where that sort of shit did not make sense. Though I will give it its credit, the end did surprise me. I won't ruin it for you if you haven't watched it. The end did surprise me. It wasn't exactly where I thought it was going to go, which was good. And like I said, it was reasonably enjoyable to watch, hence why it's a little higher on the list, but still a fair bit of work on that one. So that's why that's my number 11. Okay, number 10 for me is She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I know this may surprise some people that it's a little higher than this, but I didn't think it was that bad. There were definitely some episodes that were way better than others, don't get me wrong. And I keep hearing this stuff online about political agendas and all that sort of rubbish and all that sort of stuff. But if you just try and look at it as a whole, I found it reasonably enjoyable. Sure, the CGI was terrible. I mean, it was substandard for one of their shows, it really was. And her breaking the fourth wall, I enjoyed it because I used to read the comics back in the day, and that was one of her big things. Now, I suppose the writing was by John Bryan, great writer, great artist. That's why I mainly got it, because of his artwork. But even his writing was fantastic, where the lady who wrote this, whose name eludes me, I might just have it here, she didn't quite understand what she was writing, I think, and that's where the problem lies. And her, like I said, breaking the fourth wall, it was clunkily done. It wasn't done great as far as I was concerned. But overall, there was some great stuff in there, but then there was also some terrible stuff. So that's where it kind of puts it at probably the lower end of the middle for me. And that's why it's my number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Werewolf by Night. Wow, I really enjoyed this. It was only a short, one of these little shorts for Halloween, and I think that was such a great idea. In other words, you're not wasting a whole series or a whole movie time to fit like a nice little story. And that's what this was, and kind of introduced us more to the dark arts of Marvel, if you want to say. Like the fact that it's Werewolf by Night, and not that this would be much of a secret now anymore, as it's been out for a little while, is the Man-Thing. And I was just kind of like, wow, I never thought I'd see him show up. Mind you, they've done really well in showing a whole heap of characters I never thought I'd ever see on screen. But, oh my God, Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing duo. Holy, give me a whole TV show of that. Who would have thought they were fantastic together? My God. It was really enjoyable, just long enough, and like I said, really opens up the world to that darker arts of Marvel. So that's why this one comes in at number 9 for me. Coming in at number 8 is Black Adam. Now, I really did enjoy this movie. I know there seems to be a bit of mixed consensus out there about it. But I found it a good, fun romp. Sure, the movie, as I say, was nothing groundbreaking, and it's not groundbreaking by any standard. But it was still a fun movie to watch, action-packed. It's just your usual standard Dwayne The Rock Johnson outing. Like, could they have developed things a little more? Sure. Could have they done this better? Sure. But in other areas, Doctor Strange, Pierce Brosnan as Doctor Strange, oh my God, talk about perfect fan casting, that is. He was great. I wish they would go back and do a prequel Doctor Strange. I'd love to see his adventures as Doctor Strange. That would be fantastic. So yeah, like I said, nothing too groundbreaking. Still reasonably enjoyable. Nice soft reboot for the DCU. So that's why I've put this one at my number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Moon Knight Season 1. Now, I really did enjoy this one too. I really was engaged with the whole dual identity story, and then when it finally came out at the end that it was this dual personality thing, because he was an abused kid, it just kind of, I don't know, it really put a different spin on things. I have to admit, I was really impressed with it, the writing, the acting, and it was just really good, like, you know. But the only real criticism I really have with it is I wanted to see more Moon Knight in action and probably less of Mark Mark Spector and Stephen Grant. Like, don't get me wrong, that was the whole point of the whole dual identity thing, but I wanted to see more of Moon Knight in action and less of those pair sort of getting around. But at the end of the day, it was well written, well done. Yeah, I got to give props. That was really good to see. So that's why that's my number 7. So coming in at number 6 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. A nice addition and almost a nice end to Phase 4. I don't know if this is the end of Phase 4. Well, it's close to it anyway. But yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones of this Phase 4 run, thank God. It just had so much emotion. It's very heartfelt. A nice love letter to Chadwick Boseman. And I feel Shuri did a great job of picking up the mantle of Black Panther. And same again, there's all that political bullshit out there that wants to bring it down. But I still think she did a great job dealing with picking up the mantle from her brother, with the loss of her brother and then her mother. Like, it's just, it really pulls on the heartstrings the whole way through. The only letdown for me was Namor. Not the actor as such. He did a good job and I feel like the character was done well, but I still, look, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of this whole mind culture thing. They wanted to do that to separate it from the fact that he was the king of Atlantis, and doesn't want people to get confused with Aquaman because they did their movie first. But I hate how they feel like they treat the audience like idiots and somehow we'll get confused. No, we won't. I wanted to see more of a straight up adaptation of Namor from the comics. But that's just me. A lot of people seem to like it. Some people don't. I'm a bit middle of the fence. Like I said, the character was good, but his representation, yeah, I'm not overly fussed on. But anyway, yeah, like I said, this is probably one of the better ones of Phase 4 so far, and yeah, is a great addition to a Phase 4. So that's why that's my number 6. Coming in at number 5 is The Batman. Now, I've mentioned this before in my 11 top Batman movies. I'll just put the thing up there. There you go. Go check that one out too. But yeah, I was just so surprised how good a job Robert Pattinson did as the Batman. And look, I really wasn't expecting it. I was very cynical of the fact that it was like, oh, Robert Pattinson, I don't know how this is going to go, the old sparkly vampire. But yet again, this guy surprises me every time. And as Batman, he did a fantastic job. And also the Riddler, that was a great take. I love that version of the Riddler. I'm a big Riddler fan, so to see that version of him, I was really impressed. It was a real darker version, but also a very interesting version. And of course, the big selling point of the Batman is we got to see Batman for 90% of the film. Bruce Wayne for 10%, Batman for 90%. Because when I go to see a Batman movie, I'm there to see Batman, not Bruce Wayne. So that was a big point for me. So yeah, that's why this one comes in at number 5. Okay, coming in at number 4 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I love this movie. It is fantastic. Now, I've just recently done a full review. Just see there's the thumbnail. I might have the link below or put a little card up here somewhere, whatever. But go check it out if you want to see my full rundown of the movie where I break it down all from start to finish. But to give you the quick spiel, I loved it. It was fun. You had Sam Raimi, Benedict Cumberbatch, winning team. I loved it. It was enjoyable, and let's not forget the Illuminati and all that stuff that's in it. Just a fun, great movie with great visuals, absolutely stunning visuals. But this would be one step higher if it wasn't for the next video. And that video is the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special at number 3. Oh my God, talk about come home strong in the end. Like I said, just enough to bump Doctor Strange down one spot. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Cameos, lots of fun, heaps of laughs. Oh, got the feels. Animation, Kevin Bacon. And it's a Christmas short. My God, this could be my new Christmas show that I watch every year because this is fantastic. Nice short. James Gunn is on fire yet again. This guy can almost do no wrong lately. He has been on fire with just about anything he touches turns to gold. And to see the overwhelming outpouring that people have online for this special, it's not hard to see why a lot of people love it and why I love it myself. And that's why this one jumped above Doctor Strange and got itself to number 3. Coming in at number 2 is The Boys Season 3. I love this show to death, and anyone who's a serious comic book fan pretty much loves it too. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't love this show. It's just so well written, so well acted. It's just a stellar thing. If you haven't watched it, do what you can to go out and watch it. Buy the DVDs, go get Amazon, whatever you got to do, watch it. It's fantastic. And this season you get to see Soldier Boy come back from the dead and the old crew, which explores some whole different things there. And of course, you can't go past my love affair with Carl Urban. He absolutely knocks it out of the park yet again as Billy Butcher in this show. Like, there's another man for me who can do no wrong. Carl Urban is fantastic. So yeah, I love this show to death. It's so awesome. It's just got such a great satirical look on just corporations and superheroes in general. It's so good with such a stellar cast. I cannot wait to watch season 4. And coming in at number 1, my best show of 2022 has to be Peacemaker Season 1. Oh my God, I love this show to death. Like I said, James Gunn can do no wrong at the moment after doing Suicide Squad. Then he does this spin-off, Guardians of the Galaxy special. Oh God, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 want to be stellar because he is on fire. What a great spin-off. Like, John Cena was fantastic as Peacemaker in the movie. Even better in this, where you get to unpack how he became Peacemaker and watch him become more of his own character. Honestly, I cannot wait for season 2. Like, I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat until season 2 comes along. It's so good. So many great characters in this. How can you go past Vigilante? He is a scene stealer all the way through. And my new favourite sidekick pet, Eagly. Oh my God. What a great sidekick you would want to have. Eagly is fantastic. But don't get me wrong, Peacemaker and Vigilante, what a duo. You could just have them on screen for the whole entire show, just doing their thing together. It is fantastic to watch. As I said, I am busting and can't wait to see season 2. So for me, this one is literally just that step above everything else. As much as I love The Boys, this was just next level. I love this from the moment I watched it and watched every episode. Hell, I may even sit down and watch every episode again soon. It is just such a good TV show. So that's why that came in at my number 1 for 2022. So there it is, my best and my worst of 2022. So did I surprise you? Do you agree with me? Or do you disagree with me? Or is this list exactly what you would pick? Just let me know in the comments below, as I would love to read your thoughts on what we had this year. And also to all my YouTube buddies out there who watch the show, I put the challenge out to you, my friends. I want to see your videos of your best and worst of 2022. And I look forward to seeing every single one of them. So if you like this video and you want to see some more of my top 10 videos, why don't you click that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my reviews. got you covered too. Why don't you click that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a bat like, and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.